Hello everybody. Can you hear me? Can you see me? Yes, hello. So I can see that you have this conversation in the chat and it's quite fine. So how are you doing? Are you ready for the lesson? Are you ready to discuss articles and something connected to the use of English? So how are you doing? Oh yes, you're ready. Well, that's fine. Well, I'm ready. Well, good. That is quite great. I'm fine too. So pretty good. Well, so then, as far as I've already told you, we're going to talk about articles. So we're going to talk about these indefinite articles, definite articles, or the cases where no article is used. And first of all, the question is to you, what do you know about those articles? When indefinite, definite, or no article is used. So what are the cases that you already know? So I cannot really understand, can you hear me and can you see me? So first of all, yeah, there are some technical issues, and the question to you, if you can hear me well now, can you please put your pluses in the chat, because I have this problem of like of the realizing if you can hear me well and if you can see me well, because I cannot yeah, okay. Well, that's fine. That's great still. So, yes, we're gonna talk about indefinite article a or an. Good. Oh, I'm grateful for your pluses. That's fine. And first of all, the indefinite article is used when we do not know of when we talk about something for the first time. And this word is in singular. That means a means one, only one thing, right? So everybody has a brain. In other words, everybody has one brain, right? Harry is a good student. So here you can see this usage of the article a before the adjective and then a noun. So Harry is a good student. Pay attention, when we have the adjective plus noun, mostly the indefinite article a is used. So a good student. Can I have an apple? Good, yeah. So can I have an apple? I saw that someone wrote here in the chat that N is used before a vowel, перед while A is used before a consonant, тобто перед приголосною. So that is the difference between A and N. Still, they mean the same, they mean one thing, right? Indefinite. But A is used before consonants, while N is used before vowels. So, can I have an apple? Apple is like vowel, it starts with the vowel, that is why N. I've got a math exam tomorrow. We've got an exam next week. So here you had these examples of how a or an may be used in a sentence when we talk about something for the first time. So we have not mentioned this thing for like previously, so that is why we talk about this thing for the first time. This is indefinite, and the difference between a and n just because of nouns, of consonants and vowels. What about the article that? What do you know about the article that? You can see here the examples, and when do we use the article that? the definite article. So what about this definite article there? What do you know about it? If we talked about indefinite article A, we talked about something for the first time and the object was not specified. We mentioned this object for the first time, and this is in singular with nini, right? But when you talk about the definite article there, mostly we talk about something for the second time. So we already know about what we are talking, like we mentioned this thing for the second time. This is a definite thing. One more thing, that equals this, right? This, that. While A equals 1, equals that. So you understand, like, you realize what you're talking about. So this is like you mentioned this thing for the second time. The bus is always late. You know about what bus you're talking, right? It's not the indefinite thing to you, but it's a definite one. Yes, Sarsis, that is correct. So well done. Before lakes, rivers, we may use the article there. And David, that is also right. So we use the article there before some countries, but this is mostly the exception. It's not a rule, but it's an exception. We use the article before countries when we talk about abbreviations. For example, mhm. Oh, so hi again. That's fine. So you can hear me now and see, right? Put your applause in the chat again if you can see and hear me well. Fine, good. Yes, so we have stopped on the exceptions connected to countries, right? So again, let me mention the same thing. Mostly before the countries, we do not use any article, right? We say Ukraine, we say Georgia, Russia, Lithuania, and so on. Like Austria, Germany, France. So before the countries, we do not use any kind of articles. So with the countries, we do not use articles, but there are exceptions. And these exceptions are mostly concerning the abbreviations. If the country is in abbreviation like USA, UK, then in this case we have to use the article that. So the USA, the UK, right? Also, one more exemption connects to the ending S. The countries that have this ending S, like at the end, like they also have the same thing. They are used with the articles there. The Netherlands, the Bahamas, and so on. Good. So these are some exceptions that you have just to remember, but mostly with the countries you do not use the articles there. Good. So yeah, once again, let's mention with the countries you do not use any articles. The articles there, in the definite article there, is used when we talk about something for the second time. For example, I'm waiting for a bus. I'm talking about this bus for the first time, right? I'm waiting for any bus, for one bus. I'm not waiting for a specific one, just for a bus. But when I'm talking about this bus for the second time, oh look, the bus is coming, or the bus is always late. In this case, I'm using the article there because I talk about this bus for the second time. So I'm talking about this definite bus, right? I may also say this bus or that bus. So that would just mean the same. For example, let's look at the second sentence. I thought the history test was easy. I'm talking about this specific history test. So that is why the history test. Can I have the last apple? Again, I'm talking about this very specific apple. Can I have the last apple? Yesterday, I went to the park. To that park, I can say. So with the word then, I may substitute it with words that, this. And when I can do that, then I'm using the correct article in the sentence. So yesterday I went to this particular park. You need to study before the history exam on Friday. Again, I'm talking about the specific history exam. So that's fine. I see you have no questions. Let's move on. When do we use no article in the sentence? I'm looking for your answers. So what are the cases when we use no article? So it is not allowed to use an article before some words. What is this group of words that we use without the article? So you may look here at these examples and think, when we do not use an article. So again, just talking about no article, we may say that we use no article before countries. I have already mentioned that to you. So when we talk about countries, we use no article. Ukraine, Germany, France, so on. When we talk about words, about nouns that cannot be counted, that is right, Maxime, yes. So water cannot be counted. We cannot say one water, two waters. No, sorry, we cannot do that. So that is why no article is used before such words. And you know, such words as water, sand, milk, space, atmosphere. So yeah, with abstract nouns, Roma, that is right. Yeah. So with such words, you do not have to use articles because you cannot count them. So let's see, you should drink more water. So in this case, you cannot count water. That is why you use no article. Do you like playing football? Pay attention. Here you have the sport, football. And mostly with such sports as football, basketball, baseball, you use no article again. So do you like playing football? No article is used before because it is a sport. Those apples are really sweet. So let's look. Those apples are really sweet. We talk about apples. This word may be counted. We can say one apple, an apple, two apples, three apples. So this word is counted. You can count this word. Sophia, you say множина. We can use the article the before the plural forms. We can say the apples, the buses, the exams. So we can use such words. So we use the article, definite article, um, with the plural form. So plural forms mostly used with the definite articles. But you have here those apples. So you have here the word those. And you remember that the article the substitutes those, these, that. So particularly that means just the same. Like those apples, we have the word those. That is why no article is used here because we already have the same word. We already have here those. Lily really enjoys geography lessons. So what do you think about this sentence? Why do we use no article here? And yes, Vasilina, you are right. So yeah, with the languages, we do not use any articles. That's right. For example, English language, French language, and so on. Yeah, so mostly with languages we use no article. That's right. Streets, illnesses too. That's right. Well done, guys. So what about this fourth sentence? Lily really enjoys geography lessons. So what is particular about this sentence? Geography lessons. Like you can count lessons, you may say 1 lesson, 2 lessons, 3 lessons. So what's the matter? It's just we talk in general. So we talk about these general lessons, like we do not talk about this very specific lesson, like this geography lesson. We are not talking about the particular one, but we talk about geography lessons in general. Lily really enjoys geography lessons, and it doesn't matter like when we like what geography lessons she enjoys, maybe online, offline ones, so on. So she just enjoys geography lessons that she may learn somewhere, it doesn't matter where. So this is in general. When the noun is used in general, the same as abstract, so you use no article. How many exams have you got? Again, we talk in general how many exams. We do not talk about the specific exams. We're not talking here about the history exam you took yesterday, right? But we talk about these general exams. So how many exams have you got? So this is in general. And it's not a specific one, but in general and plural, right? So let's move on. So I would like you to think here how to complete those gaps with the articles a, an, the, or no article. So let's try. I'm gonna read this passage, and your task is to think of the answers. So while I'm reading, I would like you to provide your answers to write that in the chat. So, I really enjoy school, but I don't enjoy exams. Pay attention, we talk here about exams in general, not the specific ones, but in general. Every year we have exams at the end of term. This week I've got science exam, and next week I've got art exhibition and math exam. What can be put here? What about the articles? I cannot see your answers. So this week I've got, Roma says, the science exam. We talk about this exam for the first time, right? So this week I've got a science exam. We talk about it for the first time. We had not mentioned this word science exam in the previous sentence. So, Galina, yes, you are right. I've got this week I've got a science exam, and next week I've got, again, think of the theme. We talk about those stuff for the first time. Oh yeah. So this week I've got a science exam, and next week I've got an art exhibition. Like one. I've got one science exam, next week I've got one art exhibition. We talk about those stuff for the first time. What about the third? And the same, and a math exam. Again, we talk about it for the first time. I've got a science exam, and next week I've got an art exhibition and a math exam. What about the next? 4. You say the science exam? That's right, well done. We talk about it for the second time. Yes. So the science exam will be easy, but what about the next 5? That's right, yeah, but the math exam will be difficult because I'm not good at math. So pay attention. Here in this next sentence, we talk about science exam and math exam for the second time. So we talk about these particular exams, and that is why we use the definite articles there. The science exam and the math exam. So I'm looking forward to next month when I can relax and have what? What about the last gap? 6. That's right, yeah. I can relax and have a good time with my friends. Pay attention. There is this expression. There's like this stable phrase, a good time, to have a good time. Even though you cannot count time, you cannot say 1 time, 2 times, it's not correct. But here is the expression to have a good time, to have a great time, and so on. So this is just this expression that is always used with the article a. Pay attention. So some phrases you just have to know because they are, it's just the rule to use them like this, and it never changes. So to have a good time, to have a great time, to have a terrible time, but all the time you use the article a. So now I'd like you to correct the mistakes here. So you can see here that some words are crossed because they have a mistake in the sentences. Oh, нет, Vasilina, it's not an idiom. No, it's not an idiom. It's just a phrase. You know, idiom, it's a little bit different thing. It's when a phrase just has a very different meaning. For example, I'm under the moon, or I feel blue. Like, I'm not feeling like, I'm not having this color, I feel blue, but I feel sad. So this is an idiom. So have a good time. This is just an expression. So let's correct the mistakes. Is there the university in your town? What is the mistake here? We have the article there crossed, but why it is considered to be a mistake? What should be here instead of the article there? Is there the university in your town? Think about university. Do we talk about the particular university, like we talk about this very particular university that we are looking at like right now, or there is something different? Arthur says A, and that is correct, yes. So is there a university in your town? In other words, you might say any. Is there any university in your town? So in this case, pay attention that a may be substituted with the words one or any, right? Is there any university in your town? We do not really know the university. That is why is there just one university in your town? What about the next one? I like the math, but I don't like the English. You have here both articles crossed. But why? What should be here instead? A, an, or no article? Nastya says nothing. And that is correct. Yep. So I like math, but I don't like English. So we're talking about math and English in general. We're not talking about this particular like subjects, but we talk about these particular lessons, but we talk about the subjects in general, right? So I like math, but I don't like English in general, just in general. And yeah, so no article is used here. What about the third? I've got the idea. Let's do our homework. So the article there is crossed. And I see that someone, yep, David, has written here, I've got an idea. This is correct. Good. I've got an idea. We don't know what the idea is. We talk about this idea for the first time, and it's only one idea. That's right. And it's like again this stable phrase. You may always see this phrase everywhere used. I've got an idea, and it's always like this. Mostly you do not say I've got the idea, but I've got an idea. Let's do our homework. And what about the last one? 4. I had great time at drama club. So here you have this expression that we have already talked about. So what about this? What about force? And yes, guys, you are right. I had a great time at drama club. David says for the first one is that no, A, because we have this expression to have a good time, to have a terrible time, to have a good time. This is the expression, and we can see here we use an article in some fixed expressions. For example, to have a great time, to have a terrible time, to have a good time, and so on. So try to remember this expression because it never changes. It is always like this, and this is quite easy. What about the next one thing that I would like you is to just pay attention to the rule. Try to remember this rule. We use a or an with singular countable nouns. That means the nouns which we can count and they are in a singular form. For example, apple, one apple, right? We can count the word apples like apples, bananas, and we can also always use a with only singular words, one apple, right? An apple. When the listener, reader, doesn't know exactly which thing we're talking about, when we talk about something for the first time in a conversation, so this is like this revision of what we have just talked about. So you can have an apple or a banana, one apple, right? And one banana. We talk about it for the first time. Look, there is a horse in the garden. Again, we have here, we talk about this horse for the first time, and it's only one horse. So there is a horse in the garden. So this is only one. Uh-huh. Good. So we use the definite article there before a noun when it is clear which things or person, people we are talking about. For example, the apples in this pie are from our garden. So we talk about this exact apples for the second time, perhaps, right? In this particular pie, again, we talk about this pie for the second time, that are from our garden. So this is used for the second time, and this is clear for what we are talking about. Look, there's a horse in the garden. Oh, yes, the horse is eating our apples. So this particular horse is eating our apples. Oh, one more thing here. Pay attention that we do not use any article before our apples. Like, our the apples we cannot say, because we have here the pronoun our, right? Our. So that is why when we have the pronouns, again, we use no article because pronoun substitutes the article. And this is the thing for you that you may remember. When you do not really know what to use, which article to use, you may always use a pronoun before a noun. My apple, for example, you may say. And that is why you do not need to use any articles anymore. So when you have the pronouns, you do not have to use any articles in this case. So no article is used before plural countable nouns or uncountable nouns. For example, uncountable nouns is like sand, water, milk. Plural countable nouns, it's when we talk about something in general, right? Like we talked about those subjects, English, like exams, math subjects, and so on. So when we talk about something in plural, and this is a general term. So, for example, bananas are sweeter than apples. So we not talk about specific bananas, but we talk about bananas in general. So bananas are always sweeter than apples in general, right? Or chocolate isn't good for you. So again, chocolate in general. And by the way, do you find bananas sweeter than apples? Or maybe you like apples more? And now we are moving to the next task. While you're writing down your answers about bananas and apples, we are moving to the practicing task. I'm gonna here read the questions and the answers. It's like the dialogues here, mini dialogues, which you have to fill with the articles. So let's see. What did one math book say to other? I've got problems. So what do you put here? What are the articles that are used in this conversation? Well, I cannot see your answers and this terrifies me again. Can you hear me and see? Oh, fine. I can see your answers now. Great. Yeah, what did one math book say to the other? That's right, to the other. Pay attention. This is this expression, to the other. It's like again you talk about this word other, and in such case as you have here in this sentence, it is mostly used with with the articles there all the time. It's like the expression to the other. I've got problems, right? This is plural countable noun, and this is in general. In this case it's like this joke, and this joke talks not about the specific problems but the problems in general. So I got problems. And by the way, pay attention to this joke, because this is a very specific English joke which you may find funny or maybe not. The next one, what subject did the snake get A in? History. Why do you put here in this table, this blue one? What subject did the snake get A in? Pay attention that A, it's not just like it's written in capital letter, because this is the mark that English people, English pupils, receive at their schools and universities. So A here is just this mark. So no article is used. That's right. Yeah. So what subject did the snake get? Oh, sorry, no. Like I just read your answers. N A in. So we're talking about this grade, like this mark that is used. A. This is like this mark, and this is considered to be the highest mark for English pupils. It's like 12, 12 points just in our consideration at our schools, or five. So one. It's like one A in. What subject did the snake get an A in? History. Just try to remember that before such marks that are used in English schools, like A, B, and so on, like they are mostly all the time used with these indefinite articles A. So A, N, so on. What about the next, the blue box? What sort of animals do you have to watch out for in exams? What do you put here? What sort of animals do you have to watch out for in, you say N, nothing, nothing, right? What sort of animals do you have to watch out for in exams? In general, right? So watch out for in exams. Cheetahs. Again, this all of these books is this like these English jokes, funny stories, and in this just in this box, it's like the pronunciation that matters. Cheetahs. You know, cheater. It's like the person who cheats during the exam, and it's like the pronunciation that matters here for you to be funny and to laugh at this joke. So again, no article. Yeah, for in exams in general, cheetahs. Again, in general, like bananas, apples, we talked about. The next, the yellow box. Why did the aunt come top of the class in math? Because he was accountant. So what do you put here? Why did the aunt come top of the class in math? No articles used here because we talk about general subject, right? Why did the aunt come top, or why did the aunt come top of the class in math? Because it was an accountant. Yep, an is used here. So firstly, you use no article because you talk about this subject in general, right? And then because he was an accountant, so it's like one here. Okay, let's move on. Teacher and student, the red one or the pink one. Where are ants? So pay attention that this word it's a mountain. And maybe you remember what you have to use before mountains. Before, like, there's a difference when you talk about the range of mountains, like Alps, Carpathians, And when you talk about the mount, the like one mount, so there is quite a great difference. So what do you put here? Where are, that's right, where are the aunts? So before the range of mountains, it is always used. So their article is used before the mountain, before the mountain chain. For example, the Alps, the Carpathians, the Ants. But when you talk about the mountain, one mountain, right? Mount. Mostly you do not use any articles here. So no article is used before a mountain. While when you're talking about the range of mountains, you use the article the. So the Andes, the Carpathians, the Alps at the end of your results. So that's it. And the last box, last one. Who broke window? Pay attention. Do you know the window you're talking about here? Who broke window? Who broke this particular window, right? We're looking at this window right now and we are saying like, who broke this window? Who broke the window? So this is the particular one. So the window. It was Mia's fault. I threw banana at her head and she moved. That's right. I threw a banana at her head and she moved. So this was like I threw this one banana, indefinite one at her. She moved and she broke this particular window. So we can see that broken window for now. Well done, good. So one more thing for you concerning the articles is the quiz. I prepared this quiz for you. So first of all, think of the articles that you have to use in each situation here. And after that, after completing the gaps with the articles, we're gonna see the right answers because mostly everybody had the mistake. So the first one, adult brain weighs nearly 3.5 kilos. So what do you put here about adult brain? The adult brain weighs nearly 3.5 kilos. That's right, yeah. Well done. So you talk here about the specific term. That is why it's like you're talking about the adult brain, which is waiting, right? It's already waiting, and it's when you talk about this particular adult brain. Yeah. Okay. Spanish and Arabic are hardest languages to learn. So Alexander says there. Well done, yeah, the hardest. Here you have this superlative form of adjective hardest. And you remember that the superlative degree of adjectives are mostly used with the article there. The hardest, the best, the worst, so on. So the hardest languages to learn. 3. Mathematical symbols were invented in 19th century. Before this, they were written in words. So in the third one, what do you have? Alexander says is there. What about you guys? Oh, you answered the rest. That's right, yeah. So mathematical symbols were invented in the 16th century. Before this, they were written in words. Good. 4. Yawning is the body's way of cooling down overheated brain. So 4, what do you have in force? You say N, right? That's correct. So yawning is the body's way of cooling down an overheated brain. 5. Children who learn English before the age of 5 have different brain structure to children who learn only one language. So in the fifth, what do you have? I say A. I see. That's right, yeah. So children who learn English before the age of 5 have a different brain structure to children who learn only one language. Well done. 6. Only 30.2% of people in the UK who take the driving test pass. 6. So what do you have in the sixth one? So Sasha says no article. What about the others? What do you think? Nastya says no article. That's right. Yeah. So of people, you do not know of whom you're talking about. It's like people in general, right? So people in the UK, or the citizens of just those general people in the UK. 7. A brain produces enough energy to light bulb. What do you have here? 7. So Sasha says A. What about the rest? Leslie says A. And that is correct. Yeah, so a brain produces enough energy to light a bulb. So in other words, it produces enough energy to light one bulb. So that is 8. There are about 3,000 languages in world. So you say in the world? And that is correct. Good. There are about 3,000 languages in the world. And now the quiz goes on and you have to correct the crossed words. So the adult brain weighs nearly kilos. So think, maybe you already know, maybe you can predict how much does it weigh? Like, what is the kilos that are connected to our brain? Think of that. Well, still, it's not like 3.5 kilos. It's not correct. There is the different answer, and maybe you already know. Maybe you have heard it somewhere. Just predict. You do not have to look for that information on the internet because in a few seconds you will see, you will know the answer because I'll show that to you. So still predict if you do not really know. But if you know, you can also share this information. So the adult brain weighs nearly 1 kilo, almost 1.5. Yeah, so it's much lighter than it was stated. More than 2 kilos. No, David, it's not right. So the adult brain weighs nearly 1.5 kilos. So that's it. Almost, yeah, Yulia, that's right. The second one, Spanish and Arabic are the hardest languages to learn. So Spanish is crossed because it's not the Spanish language that is the hardest to learn. So Arabic, yeah, that is correct. And what about the next, the other language that is quite difficult to learn? But this is not Spanish. Sarsis says Russian. Oh, well, still not. You can find here even difficult language, you know. Yeah, that's right. Chinese. So Chinese and Arabic are the hardest languages to learn. So that's correct. The next 5, children who learn English before the age of 5 have different brain structure. So what do you think? Who learn Japanese, you say, right? Oh, yeah. So these sentences are correct. Yep. Not English and not Japanese, but 2 languages. Children who learn 2 languages before the age of 5 have a different brain structure. They are called bilingual. You know, they have these 2 languages and they can think in a different way because they are quite, they have this wider outlook of the world. Good. 6. Only 30.2% of people of UK or of people in the UK who take their driving test pass. What do you think? What is your prediction connected to the percentage? So, well, you may predict that information. I'm sure you're not interested in the people who pass their driving test in the UK, but you may predict. So, I cannot see your answers, perhaps. You're thinking of that. 70-20. 50. So only 50%, 50.2% who take their driving test in the UK pass. It's like the half of all the citizens. So the next one is correct. That's 7 and 8. There are about 3,000 languages in the world. How many languages do you think in the world exist? Like, think of that. There are about 3,000 languages in the world. What do you think of that? Well, oh, Nasi says, wow, 7,174, really? Approximately 7,000. Yes, that's well done, good. So, approximately 7,000 languages are there in the world. Yeah, so it's quite a lot. Well done, good. So one more task for today. We're moving to that like reading task. Will there be a recording of the lesson to watch later? Yes, there will be a recording. It always stays here on this page. So let's look at these texts. And here, this is a very similar task that you may have during your external examination during ЗНО. So let's try to do it. We'll do it together. Firstly, the example. Please leave your phone on the teacher's desk. So here you have three possible variants. Like, what does it say? What does this text say? Keep your phone in your pocket, give your phone to the teacher, or C, put your phone on the teacher's desk. Well, that is quite easy. Please leave your phone on the teacher's desk. That means so put your phone on the teacher's desk. Yes, the second one, for sale, you can see here. So we're talking here about the washing machine that was used only once. It's in a perfect condition. Its price was £500 and now its price is £300. And delivery is included. So the advert says that A, the buyer collects the washing machine, B, the washing machine is cheaper than before, and C, the washing machine is new. The first one, the first text, that's you say B, and that is correct, yes. So the washing machine is cheaper than before because it was £500 and now it's £300. So of course it's cheaper. 2. Dad, can you do me a big favor? I haven't got any credit on my phone. Could you top it up for me before this evening? Love you, Sharon. So what does Sharon want from her dad? Sharon's lost her phone. B, Sharon is going out this evening. And C, Sharon cannot make a phone call with her phone. So what do you think? 2. You say C, B. Oh, you say C, right? And that is correct, yes. So Sharon cannot make a phone call with her phone. So she asks for credit on her phone. That's it. 3. Hi, Jill. Change of plan. We're meeting at John's house, not Bill's. We're going in his car. Don't forget to bring the present to Joella. So Joella wants Jill to A, go to John's house, B, buy a present, C, drive to Bill's. What do you think? I see B, B, B. Let's see. That's A. Jella wants Jill to go to John's house. Well, it's not B, it's not to buy a present because don't forget to bring the present. It is not stated that he should buy this present. Perhaps this present already exists somewhere. So she just asks him to bring the present. And it's not to buy. So Jella wants Jill to go to John's house. Not to Bill's house, but to John's. Yeah. 4. From Rebecca to Sandy, the test was more difficult than I expected. There were 10 questions to do in only 30 minutes. Good luck with yours. So what does Rebecca say about the test? A, she didn't pass. B, there wasn't much time. Or C, it was very difficult. So what do you think? 4. You say B, C, different answers. So B is the correct one. So what does Rebecca say about the test? There wasn't much time. She does not mention here about the about the success of her test. Like she does not say if she managed to complete this test or maybe not. So A, we not really know this information. C, it was very difficult. Yes, she said like the test was more difficult than I expected. So this is like this idea of test being more difficult, and there were 10 questions to do in only 30 minutes. There wasn't much time. Yeah, so B is the correct one. And 5, St. Albans Car Park. Opening hours 6 a.m. till midnight. First hour £3, second hour £2, all other hours £1. Do not leave personal objects in your car. Pay at automatic ticket machine. So drivers who use the car park, A, pay £5 for 2 hours. B, pay a person who works in the car park. Or C, can leave their car in the car park all night. So what do you think? 5. Say A, B, A. Let's see. What else? A. That's right. So drivers who use the car park pay £5 for 2 hours. Yeah, that is correct. You have to count here as far as you've seen. So first hour is £3. The second hour £2. All the other hours £1. So that's it. I suppose that is quite enough for today's lesson. I prepared one more task, but I suppose we won't have much time for completing that task, and you're a little bit tired as well as me. So let me skip to this very last task. Not to the very last task, but to the very last slide. So just moving here. Yep. So we are just finishing our lesson, and thanks a lot for participating. I hope that you found this lesson to be quite useful and not that exhausting, but still. So then we switch to Ukrainian. Ще раз дякую за увагу, за участь. Молодці. В основному ви правильно відповідали, і це мене дуже it makes me happy, я радію за цього. Тому я запрошую вас на онлайн-курс, який також починається о 18:45. З 12 квітня стартує курс, який починається о 18:45, так само, як ми сьогодні почали заняття. І він триває в понеділок, в четвер і неділю о 12:00. Тому, знову ж таки, до ЗНО ми встигаємо, всі заняття сплановані, що до початку ЗНО ми встигаємо пройти всі 16 онлайн-занять, все повторимо, всю інформацію, тому підготую вас, як тільки зможу, як найкраще. Тому до ЗНО вже будете повністю готові і не будете навіть переживати. Кожне заняття триває 90 хвилин. Кожне заняття записується, тому якщо, наприклад, пропустили якесь заняття, то можете його передивитися ще раз в записі, або щоб ще раз повторити, наприклад, якусь граматичну тему, ще раз можна передивитись, тому це також у вас буде доступ до записаних занять. Після кожного заняття є домашні завдання, в основному домашні завдання – це тести, тому... І в основному ці тести, як домашні завдання, вони спрямовані на те, щоб повторити весь матеріал, який я подаю на занятті. Тому it's like a revision. Що ще я можу додати? На слайді ви можете бачити зараз всю інформацію, ціну. Завтра вона буде трохи іншою, тому ви можете сьогодні купити курс, забронювати. І якщо зараз маєте якісь запитання, то пишіть в чат. Я спробую на них відповісти. So David and Nastya says, thanks a bunch. Thanks so much. You're welcome. I'm glad to help you. Окей. Так як запитань ніяких немає, буду закінчувати урок. Have a good evening. Enjoy yourself. And see you in my lessons. Зустрінемося на заняттях. Goodbye.